Game Time, and I really like this because there's a lot of things that we don't understand that coaches say. It's because they get bleeped out half the time, and Smitty and I can't show it on TV. But we get coaches speak to delve in to a team that we knew was going to be really good, but maybe not this early. So taking us like we've never been taken before, the coach inside what's going on at Staples.
Now it's getting easy down there again. Secure the rebounds. It's got to turn right now. Pass the ball. Come on. Every single time, get in a stance and get up. This season, the Lakers have turned around what was a bottom third of the league defense last season into being elite on that side of the ball this year. That improvement, triggered by the addition of some key two-way players, have brought LA back to being among the best teams in the league. The best representation of this is Anthony Davis, who leads the league in blocks, anchoring a Lakers defense who as a team lead the NBA in blocks by a significant margin. Watch this play here. Anthony Davis is the last guy. He's behind the entire play, but he makes a tremendous effort to catch up and a great save in transition with this block. Here, again, Davis at the end of the quarter, a wide open DeAndre Hunter, he saved the bucket. And then finally, Cam Reddish, a rookie who doesn't know any better, takes off on a baseline drive and decides to challenge Anthony Davis. Not a great idea. The Lakers are leaning on their defense, not just to limit their opponents, but to create easy offense for themselves by scoring off the turnovers they create. Here we get a switch, JaVale McGee on Jabari Parker. Plays him well, a tremendous block shot. And then watch LeBron James come to beat Hunter to the loose ball. They're off to the races, and a great lob. This one on the pick and roll, KCP gets over the top once, gets over the top again. McGee steals the pocket pass, and the most feared thing in the NBA, LeBron James in the open court. Another pick and roll, this time Danny Green over the top. He and McGee get a steal, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis are off to the races. Another easy basket. While the Lakers have struggled some in their half-court offense, they have utilized post play with good success, while few other teams post much at all anymore. Here we're going to see Anthony Davis post up a smaller DeAndre Hunter. You see Hunter get on top. This is a play Rondo and Davis did a lot in New Orleans. Davis just spins out to the rim and catches the lob for the dunk. Here the Lakers start the third quarter with a set play posting up LeBron. He is always a passer first. He's going to look at Danny Green off the flare screen. Then a tight pick and roll. Gallinari doesn't leave McGee. So LeBron finally, as the third option, decides to score. Here LeBron posts again on Terrence Ferguson. You can see him looking at the floor. He's always thinking pass first. Schroeder comes to the strong side to help. Chris Paul, along with everybody else, is watching LeBron. KCP sees an opening on the cut, perfect pass, and a layup. The pick and roll is a staple of nearly every NBA team's half-court offense. And with an initiator as skilled as LeBron James and a finisher as dominant as Davis, LA's pick and roll attack has the potential to be among the most unstoppable in the league. Lakers like to run pick and roll with Davis and James on the right side of the floor. Here Davis goes into a step up. Everyone else for the Lakers is on the weak side of the floor. Davis rolls, takes the pocket pass, and goes and finishes with the dunk. We'll see the same thing again here. Davis again will flip the screen into a step up. This time he just makes a short roll. James makes the pocket pass. Davis with a lethal mid-range jumper. This time it's Rondo handling the ball, and it's a little different. Anthony Davis goes to a move that Kevin Garnett perfected. He starts to the pick and roll, back cuts to the rim, catches the perfect lob. With a league best defense and an improving top 10 offense, The Los Angeles Lakers are legitimately the championship contender many predicted them to be at the beginning of the season.
Two things that come to mind. First of all, great piece. Second of all, that is a great look right there. I thought, like, it looks like you were in that old Ditka skit they used to do on SNL. Right in there. Right? You know what I'm talking about?
I like
Like,
it.
like George Wendt, like right around the table.
I like it.
Right.
And I also like the, I think I'm using the word correctly. I need somebody like Kimberly, somebody smart to tell me, juxtaposition of the Stan who has to try and not lose his mind because the players aren't listening to you, to the very calm and easygoing,
Cool.
enjoying. Look at that smile on this man's
Very
face.
relaxed. That's how I've always been. Always been, even on the side.
All you guys. We had Tito in here. I'm like, he's a sweetheart. I mean, come on,
laid-back.
You
easy.
see coaches when they're in and out. It's totally different.
Yes, it is totally different.
different.
Yes, it is.
From a coaching standpoint, what's the toughest part about trying to, if you're, especially in this case, you're Frank, you're not only dealing with new players, you're new, right? So it's kind of that double negative of, I got to figure out what I got. Everything's new to me, but I got what this team has never dealt with either. I got to get them to gel. How tough and what is the toughest part of that stuff?
Well, it is tough, but I love the approach Frank took from the first day of training camp. Is he said to him, it's going to take time with our offense to get it together because offense is more intricate and it takes time and chemistry. And until then, we're going to have to rely on our defense. Mm-hmm. And he knew he had good defenders. He had size inside. He had great shot blocking. He had LeBron. He had great defenders like Danny Green and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Avery Bradley. We're going to rely on our defense. And he went out and he got him out there, got his defense put in, got him to compete hard and buy in. And then guys like LeBron and Anthony Davis, of course, it's key that they bought in, and they did. If you go back to the first couple weeks of the season, their half-court offense was a mess.
Yes.
But that he knew it was going to be like that. Frank knew. But their defense carried them, and now you see their offense coming.
Smitty, as a player, when you think about LeBron and you look at kind of the way other players on the team react to him, when Stan talks about from a coach selling the guy at the top for everything to trickle down, how important is that relationship for a first-year coach like Frank is with a guy like LeBron to make sure that he believes you so then he passes that message on?
Well, we all know who's the best players, and it's obvious with this team. But I think sometimes when you get a chance to see the role players buying in on the defensive end, buying in on just playing hard and making winning plays, and then you have some superstars that are not buying in.
Right.
No matter what, those guys might not say anything, but it's just human nature. Well, I'm not going as hard.
Right.
He's not going as hard. And everybody knows what you're capable of. There are some guys you go, hey, he's not the great defender. He's slow. He can't do this. But he's giving that effort. You have his back. But when your superstar doesn't buy in, it trickles down. And it just becomes a snowball effect. And one thing I just look for, Stan, I would have to ask you, when that adversity comes with a coach that's first-year players that you haven't been around, how do you coach against that? Because it's going to come, whether it's losing game, injuries, from the Lakers standpoint.
Yeah, and that's always the challenge with any team. And to say we know what will happen with when the adversity comes, with the Clippers, with the Lakers, with teams like that, we don't know. Okay, but from a coaching standpoint, I think the more consistent you can say, the things that you believe in while you're winning are the things you're going to believe in when things are going bad. You're going to stay with it. You're going to correct mistakes. Every day we're going to keep trying to get better. And I think when they see a consistency in your approach, then it helps on the buy-in. And plus LeBron and Anthony Davis.
They're pretty good.
Especially LeBron.
Yeah.
He's been through it.
Yes.
He knows. In all those great years, he goes to 8 straight finals. In all of those years, they had tough stretches of the season. And so he can help guys through it. Rondo's been through it. Those are the guys that can say, hey, this stuff's good, it's solid, let's just stick with what worked.
And what's scary is he had teams in the finals where it didn't look like going into the last week of the regular season they were on the same page, and they get to the finals. This team has gotten there very quick, but we need to quickly get to something that we need Smitty to try and perhaps use, and that's load management after all the hours he's had tonight on the air.
I'm okay.
Smitty, when we look at these two teams, I know everybody wants seeding, wants home court. In this case, if it was Clippers, Lakers, the same home court. How do you expect? What would you do? I mean, all the questions are going to start to come, right? I know we don't want to hear it. We're on television. We want everybody on our air, too. But you got to make sure these guys are healthy in the playoffs. So how do you handle load management of these stars?
Well, I think you still want to get some chemistry. We said it. They didn't have the best chemistry coming out of offense, so you want to have that. And I think always look at load management is where if you can beat teams and you can sit in the fourth quarter, that's your load management. But then I think also there always, even when we played, April, you're locked up, guys sit. I mean, we had that, but not during the year. But I understand it for some of these guys. But I think for the Lakers, it's going to come down to they don't know each other, coach-wise, player-wise. All these guys, superstar-wise, they've been new. Advantage to me, if you're going to go advantage, Milwaukee Bucks. This team has been together. They also lost heartbreak in the playoffs. So this core has a little bit of advantage. I'm not saying talent-wise, but I just think Clippers, they're still trying to figure it out. Paul George, Kawhi, you can all grow up in L.A. together, but can you play together through some adversity? And that's what we're going to have to see.
And continuity, right? We talked about it from the beginning of the night, from an organizational, at least our night, from an organizational standpoint. Now we're talking about it on the floor. But the other thing is defense. And what I love is, and from a coaching, I mean, from a player, you tell me, Smitty, and Stan, you first, we don't talk about the teamwork of it, the communication, and how important that is. It seems like, and I remember Durant going to Golden State. Remember the game they blew 24-point lead, I think it was, against Memphis. And they're talking about defensively more than offense, things that you're missing things. How are you seeing them grow on that side? Because we know, obviously, that's where Frank's bread is buttered anyway, Stan.
Yeah, look, I think it's coming well. I think it took Frank a little while, and I think he would say this, to figure out exactly what he wanted to do in the half court. What they've started to do, a little bit like Philly in the day and age where nobody posts up, they're throwing the ball to the post, to Anthony Davis, to LeBron James. LeBron's a great passer out of there as well. They've obviously got the great pick and roll combination of LeBron and Anthony Davis. And then when Rondo comes off the bench, he and Anthony Davis have played together. Right. So those are the things that they're leaning on. But Frank's done a great job of finding little things that guys have done in the past and going to them. Running handoffs for Avery Bradley that started back with what they did in Boston, and then we tried to continue in Detroit, things that have been his bread and butter. Same with KCP. So he's found little things for every guy where they're in their comfort zone. He's done a very, very good job.
So last, just to follow on that, as a player, when you went to a new team and you had it happen to you a couple of times, and when you had teammates come in, how long does it take from what you recall where you feel like as a group defensively, we understand system, we understand where each other is supposed to be? I know it's a process as the season goes along. I don't think people give credit to that. How long does it take till you feel comfortable?
Well, it's around the guys around you, but I always looked at accountability. When you have that teammate that's pointing and telling coaches, then that's when things start to snowball wrong. When there's a guy that said, my bad, Stan, I missed it. And you can live with that. And it's genuine. But the guy that says my bad too much, then you start saying, you're saying my
You're
bad.
Right, it is your bad.
In front of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Always my bad in front of the coaching staff. Then you start saying, you get a little bit of, you want guys to come out after the game when the coaches are going and said, hey, tell me what I can do better to help you defensively. Because there are some guys, it always comes down to, we're playing the Lakers. Hey, when do you want me to come double? Because right. I'm leaving Glenn Rice. Because, I'm leaving, but when do you want me to come with Smitty? Come on a pass, come before he goes into his dribble. And then I say, all right, I can live with that because then I can get back whether Glenn or not. But that guy saying, you just come when you want to come.
Right.
No.
Right.
I'm going to hesitate, Stan, because I'm protecting myself now because we're not on the same page.
Yeah, remember this. I think you look at where you are from a standpoint of how the culture is presented on defense. I think the pair they're getting paid the most, plays as hard as anybody or harder. Durant defensively, when he started even that next level, 6 blocks a game. So the Warriors defense, LeBron has played. Look, I understand there's going to be some load management. Give him credit. He has played great defense in the past in spots. And these years, understandably, he has played aggressively really good defense this year.
No question.
Really good.
Look, I think LeBron got hurt last year. They missed the playoffs. He's come back motivated, number one. Number
Excited.
two, he knows with Anthony Davis he's got a chance again. But he also knows he's got to set the tone.
Yeah.
And he's doing that defensively. And if LeBron James and Anthony Davis are out there defending hard, then no one else can take a play off. I mean, who then would have the right on that team to take a play off? And you see it coming from everybody. That leadership comes. Again, I've said this a lot. People always, especially fans, tend to think of leadership as the guy who's going to stand up in the locker room and give a speech. No. Guys are watching. The leadership comes from what you do on the floor. You see LeBron and Anthony Davis defending the way they are now, your defense is set.
By the way, you know who else is set, regardless of being tired? Swatting flies in here on set, Smitty.
I know, we got a lot
while
of stuff
he's
going
working.
on.
An animated person should have an animated character. Take a look at what happens here. Animated person, animated character. There he is. You're not yelling there. You're happy. I can tell.
Oh, absolutely.
I just can't wait to see who the Clippers play next. Because I got a feeling.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be that
I
team.
wouldn't want to be that team.
But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be the next team playing Milwaukee. They've won the last 4 by 137 points.
Is that good?
That's pretty good, yeah.
Not if you're Doc. You've been in these moments. Now you get to smile and just feel for him. Take a listen to what he said.
Doc, this team is definitely better than what they did tonight on the floor. Where were the biggest areas they were lacking?
I don't know. I mean, it was just too many. If there was one, that would be so easy for me tonight. We didn't deserve tonight. You know, it was Giannis's birthday, and we searched all over the city to find a gift. Couldn't find one, so we gave him this one. That's all I can come up with. That's the best I got because we were awful. I got to do a better job to get us ready. I didn't think we were ready to play tonight. I didn't think we played with any zip. You can see it from the beginning of the game. I thought offensively we were so slow, so easy to guard tonight as a group. What are we, 8-1 when we 25 assists or more, 3-4 when it's not. We had more turnovers than assists tonight. But give them credit. I thought a lot of them, they got into us. They were so much more physical than us. And one of the things we talked about before the game, whoever's the most physical will win the game. And it was not even close.
Wes Matthews kind of set a tone early, like he was all over Kawhi.
No, I think their whole team did. I really did. I think they all were physical. I mean, Wes is just physical by nature. Other than I don't know who wasn't for them. Really, I mean, but their entire team was more physical. Their entire team accepted the challenge tonight. I thought they really looked at this game as a big game. The way they played, and I thought we showed up to play a basketball game. And there's certain games you have to be ready. You have to know you're going to get attacked. And I thought we were surprised by their intensity and their physicality.
What role did that physicality play in the turnovers? 21.
A lot of it. I mean, we couldn't even run simple plays at some points of the game. Dribble handoffs, they were blowing up. They were the more physical team. I thought they got a lot of the calls. Not that the calls were bad. I thought that the energy always goes to the call. You know what I mean? And if I was officiating the game, I would have done the same thing. I said, well, this team's playing faster and harder and more aggressive. And so they're going to get the benefit of the doubt. And I thought they got it all night.
Lessons learned. There's no such thing as a good loss. We know all of that. From a coaching standpoint, as tough as this is the humble pie when this team gets talked about so much as a big night in scoring a couple of nights ago, feeling themselves a bit? Is it good to kind of keep them grounded, let them get angry because of how badly they played against a team like the Bucks tonight?
Yeah, I actually think it is good because it's almost been too easy for them since Paul George came back. Everything has flowed very well. We know they're really talented. They haven't put in the time. I'm not going to say the work because these guys are good workers, Kawhi and Paul George. They just haven't had the time together. They haven't put in that time. They didn't have a training camp together. And they need to understand to reach the level they want, there's a lot more work ahead.
We know how good the Bucks were last year. Nobody ever seemed to want to give them the credit, though, regardless. Giannis has said all the right things. I mean, he'd been locked in like he would have started this season when the last one ended. How much are you kind of impressed by just the hunger in which they're playing? Not to just let's wait to the playoffs, but they seem to be taking it out on everybody here early in the season, Smitty.
Well, I like defensively what they're doing, and then I like the little wrinkles. Stan talked about it. You see Giannis setting more pick and rolls. You see him posting up more. You see Brook Lopez not picking popping, even though he shot the ball well. Brook has been picking and rolling, and they've been isolating him down there. They got bigger with Robin. They got tougher with Wesley Matthews defending. I think the one thing is still the answer is who's going to be that consistent second guy and third guy in the playoffs. They have some young guys, but they play hard. And if you can play hard, you can mask some of your mistakes. It's still going to come down to when they get to the playoffs. But they're creating good habits, even if they don't play well. If you create good habits, good things happen.
It's early, but we can have fun because we got time. So quickly, let me ask you this. Into the Magic 8 Ball, because it's the possible finals. I mean, these are two teams that we expect to be in the group that have a chance. Better chance to be in the finals representing their conference if you had to choose today. Let's say everybody's healthy. Clippers or Bucks?
Oh, look, I'd say the Bucks because I think there's a lot more separation, at least right now, between the Bucks and the rest of the East than the Clippers and the Red. In fact, the Clippers haven't been the best team.
They haven't. Lakers.
So far. The Lakers have. So I would say definitely the Bucks.
Yeah, you have to because the Clippers haven't, standings-wise. We're picking them because of everything on paper, but the Bucks have shown this. And sometimes the way you lose the year before, you come back with a different focus.
There's that learning experience. The Lakers, they are focused, and they're pretty good at basketball. Tonight, the Trailblazers are finding that out. 18-point deficit, ending of the third, 39 for AD, 27 for LeBron, and a real tough thing here for Rodney Hood. And the interesting thing is, and it's unfortunate to watch him here, again, the reports with the torn Achilles, is that he had come out of the last game complaining about an Achilles and some soreness, and Terry Stotts had talked about that. And then reporters had written, we were looking on Twitter, and said that before the game he was talking about it. And, Coach, I mean, at this point in the season, on the outside looking in, you don't want to say because who knows, but you do wonder aloud, I'm sure fans do. You'd like to be able to tell him to load manage a day or two, especially with an Achilles injury, right?
Well, look, I mean, again, it's hard to comment on because we don't know what the injury was. And the medical people, especially on Achilles, tend to err on the side of caution. So certainly their medical staff didn't think he was in any danger. It's too bad. This team's really been put through the ringer with injuries, and sad to see. And Melo's played well. I mean, they had some good feelings. And speaking of which, LeBron and the other team, a lot of the teammates, and he was a teammate of his, down as you look at the Rondo news, Smitty with the hamstring, we're down there with Hood on the floor. From the outside looking in, you can see how quickly that fraternity becomes